Has anyone here ever seen the scene in the movie Ready Player One where he's driving backwards on the racetrack, and by doing so, he unlocks the secret part of the level, the underside, the underworld of it, the behind the scenes architecture and structure of how it's all made, and he's driving backwards, looking around in wonder at the structure of all of this, and just is blown away that he didn't see that structure the whole time because he's spent all of his time driving forward on the racetrack in the car in the way that he was told that he's supposed to do, just like everyone else on the entire racetrack. What if I told you that the things that give us identity, a sense of tribalism, and give us a sense of our place in the world are the trappings that keep us stuck in a certain place, and the entire world as well? What if I told you that there is a greater consciousness, that is a larger field, that is the ultimate truth of reality, but around Earth, with all of us living here, what if I told you that all of us manifest a sort of field of consciousness, a smaller one? It's huge to us, but it's small in the grand scheme of things. And what if I told you that there is a dwindling number of beings that want us to stay tribal and stick with a sense of identity for the sake of comfort, as opposed to getting along and helping one another? And what if I told you that you could Google the term Pat Price 1973 UAP papers and read there? And what if I told you that if you Googled that and read the entire document and found similarities between what I'm saying, even down to the fact that possibly phrases that are hard to argue, that are by their own nature positive and good, such as, I don't know, make toothbrushing great again, or make breathing air delicious, or make air fresher again? What if there was a document that was created back in 1973 that someone told you about, that you could read yourself, that verified this type of manipulation was happening on Earth? And what if there was a solution to all of this that fixed all of it, that didn't involve fighting, right? In our minds, we think fighting, there's a winner or a loser. What if there was a way that didn't involve conflict at all? What if we, just for a second, press the pause button on the way that we've all been taught to interact with the world and face adversity, especially when it comes to other people who are different than us and believe completely opposite things? Imagine for a moment you're inside the underworld, the architecture, the construct of what makes this reality, right? You're in the car, in your own mind and in your own heart and in your own life, and what you could do with that if you knew the right thing to do. What if I told you that one of those keys was forgiveness? What if I told you that a few weeks ago, I was sitting on my porch meditating on forgiving a person who probably added maybe the most significant amount of trauma to me in my entire life, and I forgave that person? And what if I told you that if you did that, a miracle would happen? Directly after doing that, sitting there, I heard a funny buzzing sound, so I opened my eyes, and, covered in tears, and a hummingbird had flown right in front of me. I'm talking less than a foot away from my face. And I thought, that's crazy. And then before I could think again, zip, it flew up here and it looked down at me, did the same thing. Then zip, flew up here and did the same thing looking at me. Now, I don't know if that's a natural behavior of hummingbirds. Maybe it is, and it's totally, explainable. But I will tell you that when you move closer to a center, a balancing point of relinquishing judgment of other people and understanding that every single subatomic particle, every single person, every single planet, every single construct of reality is vibrating and existing authentically and intentionally as it's supposed to. The lives that people have lived that have brought them to who they are as a person cannot be understood, and therefore should not be judged by us in our own life. You can think of a person as the sum of an equation, right? Like all the different variables that added and subtracted and divided and took away and gave, and all these things that made them that variable, that X, that Y, that B, whatever. It actually makes perfect sense that person that you despise or that you judge is exactly who they are, just as you make sense as to who you are. So there is a key to all this. When you're driving in the car, in the underworld, in the architecture behind all of this reality, the powers that be that want us to fight can be taken down, not by fighting back, but by abstaining from following what they've taught us as a tribal society. It's all internal. This is a battle that's won on the inside. And unfortunately, or fortunately enough, the cost is authenticity, right? You can't fake your way to win on these battlegrounds. The way forward is to consider another person, starting with, of course, the only layer that you let yourself see, which is something that you despise about them. And then looking at who they are and why they are. Okay, I don't understand that, but I know that they are the way that they are. Just that, oh, I do understand myself, and I see myself as the way I am because of all these different things in my own life. Interesting. It's logical then that person is the sum of all the things that happen in their life, which has made them who they are, just like me is the byproduct of me living my life. One layer deeper. There are things in my own life that I couldn't help. I wonder if there are things in their life that they couldn't help. Were there times in my life when I chose not to heal and just to stay hurt and hurt other people? Is it possible that they've done that too? Are there moments of weakness in my life where I've chosen not to do the right thing? Is it possible that they have too? Self-forgiveness, once you're down that far in the layers in the rabbit hole of yourself, when you forgive yourself, guess where you can apply that to? The way through is first forgiving, first understanding yourself, first understanding this reality, second, understanding yourself, third, forgiving yourself, fourth, applying all of that to that which you despise, to see you in them and them in you. Just imagine, have fun with this, right? What if 51%, of the Earth's population saw this video and decided to try it, right? To take 5 minutes and think about one person that they have not forgiven in their life, and to go through this process and see where they end up authentically. How would the world change overnight? And is that love more powerful than illusion or deception or manipulation by a small few? And for me personally, those small few that maybe control everything are the ones that I think I need to work on forgiving the most. Because imagine a being like that has absolutely everything it could ever want. What more could it want? Power. It must be so cut off from love that it must feel trapped and lonely in all of that. It must have everything, but yet feel like it has nothing. And that being is the one that needs the most love and attention. At any rate, I hope this helps people. I think that's the way forward. It's not through the system that we've been taught. It's not fighting some force. It's not about winning or losing. It's about being and actively contributing to the field of our world to change it.